This is becoming a very bad habit, especially on Mondays, but I am feeling very tired. um, looks like we've got our quality settings. Yeah, so the sleeping issues have not gone away. But Monday is my little treat because I seem to have come into a pretty good little habit of Phantom Brigade, which is loading, by the way, or will be loading in a second. I just didn't have the Epic launcher in the background. And while I will jump into the game as soon as it's ready, I figured I should probably talk a little bit about this week. Because I am... So I'm looking forward to playing Phantom Brigade, but I'm also reflecting on everything that I need to do this week and the fact that I don't have any time for it. So, as is probably appropriate, Phantom Brigade is by Brace Yourself Games, a wonderful Vancouver developer who is growing and making even more cool stuff. So you probably know them from Crypt of the Necrodancer, and some of you possibly through Cadence of Hyrule. I do not have a Switch, so I do not get to enjoy all the wonderful Nintendo games. But they've been growing. I believe Phantom Brigade is actually the result of an acquisition. So I think it was a Seattle-based developer that they picked up. I don't recall the exact details, but there's Phantom Brigade, and then there is Industries of Titan. They very kindly provided me with press keys for both games. Both are currently in early access through the Epic Games Store, although I believe Industries of Titan is getting close to a year, so I would not be surprised if that winds up on Steam sooner rather than later. But as with all of these things, it's good to disclose these. I am a tremendous fan of Phantom Brigade. There's a reason why I've been doing it every Monday. And in fact, I'm also very fond of Industries of Titan. But if you are thinking of picking up this game based on my enthusiastic praise of this game, please remember that I was given a copy from the developer. They did not ask me to say anything. I am very happily shilling for this game on my own. But you should probably know. You should know the circumstances and decide whether or not that's going to affect your decision, or whether I'm just full of it. But I did want to talk a little bit about this week before jumping into the game. So I think the local game dev meetup is this Wednesday. So if that is the case, I will not be able to stream. Now, I really enjoyed the new patch for Industries of Titan, and actually the I believe lead designer on it, Andy Nguyen, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, actually shared a clip from last Wednesday's episode. So I was reflecting on the time that I have available. Phantom Brigade tonight. If I am at the meetup this Wednesday, that means I only have one other streaming day this week, which would be Friday, which will most likely be Hollow Knight. And then on top of that, I have Everspace 2, which I skipped out on last week as well. So I'm going to do my best to try and get some more Industries of Titan in. I also really want to try and get more Everspace 2 in. And please do not take the fact that I'm not playing Industries of Titan right away after streaming it again to indicate that I secretly dislike the new patch. I'm actually very fond of it, and I think I have screwed up my scheduling. I took on too many new games, but we'll find a way. We might need to shuffle them around a little bit, but all of them are wonderful. I'm really happy that developers are still willing to give out keys, even if the channel is a little smaller than it was when I was first asking for keys. And I mean, there's something to be said for the fact that we've been able to, at least for me, I've really enjoyed sharing these games that really say something to me, and I hope at least some of you have been able to find something you like. Mad King Brutus is in the chat. Mad King Brutus is probably the most zealous convert into the Phantom Brigade. So it's great to have you here. I hope your health is improving. And let's talk a little bit about the early access roadmap. I know I'm not going to make it 10 minutes like I used to do, but now that I've got the housekeeping out of the way, a quick reminder of where we are. We've gotten the hit and run update. So, smash and grab, new scenario, retreat system, defector event, new and improved combat levels, quality of life improvements to repair. I believe we've experienced most, if not all, of the headline features for the new patch. And this month we are looking forward to the Arsenal update, Part 1, which will improve dashing and melee. It will introduce melee weapons, more enemy variants. And then the second part will be coming into Part 2 in March, with heavy weapons, melee weapon variety, and even more enemy variants. And then, of course, the very frequently requested combat replay is something that's coming down the line. If you would like to ask questions directly, if you'd like to report bugs, or just generally you'd like to hang out with a bunch of cool people, please do check out the Discord server. Actually, you know what? I don't need to be lazy. It actually is a good excuse for me to be able to take a sip of my tea. I'm trying to at least counteract my lack of sleep with caffeinated beverages, which is probably the reason why I'm having trouble sleeping in the first place. Anyways, that link in chat there is the Brace Yourself Discord, full of very cool people. Actually, you know what? I don't think I mentioned this last week. So it turns out that the sheaf... so there was the sheaf question that I had last stream. Or maybe that was the week before. Anyways, they answered within hours. It actually led to a bunch of discussion in the forum, which I felt a little bad about. But yes, very responsive developers. Sorry. Again, I'm tired, so I'm going to stumble over my words. If you have any questions in terms of how actively this game is being developed, I typed something into the Discord as just a quick comment or a question about the status of the a line of dialogue that I saw inside of it, and it was it got an immediate response. So that's part of the appeal of Phantom Brigade. In fact, has been to really just to be able to see what's going on, and to see how the developers are thinking about the game, and seeing the reactions to their audience in Discord. I've normally seen like Kickstarter updates; those are a little bit more formal. So this has been sort of interesting to see maybe a little bit more of a live interaction. Now, my save file pretty much anticipated that I was not going to be improving my sleeping pattern, so we need to clear out the siege. We have a few hours to go. We don't have that much in terms of unit repairs. And the radio station I was looking for was not this one, but this one over here. So we're going to have to check this out. And then once that's done, we'll head back over to Brostland, which was our original target all along. Oh, sorry, it's salvage, not repair. I can't remember, Mad King Brutus. Have you been here since we got the last update? I don't know if you had any opinions on the new hit and run mission. Alright, we're ready to fight. And away we go. So the attack squads are are definitely an interesting dilemma to deal with. Certainly I suspect this is actually going to have... I think the assault squads eventually are going to start having an effect in terms of the order in which I attack certain provinces. Obviously, being able to have a shorter distance to defend the territory will stop me from sprawling out the way that I have so far. You have not. You haven't even played the new update yet yourself. Oh man, we're gonna have the Arsenal update by the time you're ready to play. I suspect that means that you've been very busy then. So I hope life is treating you fairly. All right, a hostile squad has target locked the base and combat is imminent. Your driver tells you that if you're not prepared to face the enemy, you might be able to execute an emergency retreat. Otherwise, your pilots will need to fight. Suit up. Let's just take a quick look to see if there's anything that we can equip from the salvage. I seem to remember there are a couple of good new items. Ah, yes, Asgard. Okay, so probably not going to wind up on the Hermes because of the weight. Big shield. The heavy handgun is really more of a left item thing. Yeah, all heavies. Okay, well, with that in mind, the Lance might have something to say about this. God, this thing looks so cool now. Alright, so we currently have a Vidar H, so it's, I don't know, I'm thinking it's a little less likely we'll be able to bring it in. Again, this thing's already moving pretty slow, so we're currently rocking the overdrive core and excellent hydraulics. And there's no mobility subsystem, so what we're looking at here will definitely be yeah. We can get the power up with the core, but the mass is still going to be higher, which means the thing moves slower. And while the higher integrity is a nice touch, I'm not entirely sure the thruster power is really what I need here. So I'm not interested in the handgun, but what about the shield? How is this? Alright, so the Svalin, about 1700. Interesting. I'm assuming that's probably because of the plating. It's just really weird to see something that's overall weaker than the big monster I'm holding and still have a higher mass. Okay, right arm, a Nox or an Asgard. We're currently rocking an Asgard right now, so let's just see. It's a passive heat sink. A big thing here is that the mass leaves something to be desired, so while it does beef up my integrity a bit, and we can probably get the same heat dissipation once I deal with the the passive heatsink, I'm not entirely sure I want the trade. So the thing is that I've got the integrity that I want on this mech right now. It's really about the speed at this point. So this Nox heavy. On paper, it says... Actually, you know what? This is definitely something I want to be equipping. So just take a look at what we've got here on paper. So the actual integrity of this thing is 418. It's already rocking a passive heatsink. So, you know, in terms of the heat, it's basically the same. But the heat dissipation is higher. And then the mass is also a little bit lower. Now that could potentially lose us what I'll just call the chonk points. But I believe we're pretty overweight already. So in this case, this Nox Heavy, to my mind, when you look at the actual values, is a strict improvement over the arm that we're currently using. So with that in mind, I'm just going to strip it of the passive heatsink because those are tough to find. I'll switch the livery to gray just so we can put it back in the... That's acid wash. Alright, well. If I have to. Okay, so now that we've sort of put that back into the parts pile, we'll equip the Nox Heavy, and we'll give it our beloved blueberry coating. So small speed improvement, which is very welcome. And again, in this case, we didn't lose anything. So you haven't had much time to sit down and gain post-surgery, mostly because you're focusing on getting mobility back ASAP. Well, you just got to equip yourself with some excellent hydraulics, and you're off to the races. Yeah, I definitely sympathize with your plight, Brutus. I hope it turns out well for you and quickly. I definitely can't imagine what the experience is like. Okay, so my thinking here is, the Helga's, the integrity on this thing isn't all that great, but I'm not really sure I want to give up all that mobility I just got, along with worse heat dissipation in the name of getting some higher integrity on my legs. I mean, again, we've got a big shield which will cover us for pretty much everything. So as nice as it would be to equip these beefy legs, I just don't see it working. And because everything else is heavy, I'm just going to skip the remaining squad, because we usually don't equip heavy stuff on a high mobility squad. CR2 on the field. What's taking so long here? Surround them and finish them off. So, 7 enemy contact squad is isolated. No incoming reinforcements detected. So, we're outnumbered. There's going to be a bunch of tanks that we need to deal with, but as long as we can, we are off to the races. Polaris has a little bit of a struggle ahead of him because we're in the middle of the fight, which means my sniper rifle is going to have some brutal... Oh, actually, you know what? Get a good... Actually, this is a good question. So do I want to try and take out the tank right away, or do I want to get the early hit on the... Can I even get the hit on the tank? So... Oh, yeah. Alright, so we at least waited out for the duration of the attack. So, who hates them? That is the tank that's firing at me. Okay. So it's possible I don't need to worry about the... It's possible I don't need to worry about the attack coming from the tank. If I were to retreat... This actually still works for me, because it means I get a shot on... the mech. I think if I try a third one this round, yeah, I overheat a little bit. But I can push it over into the next round. The one thing I don't want to do, though, is fire on the mech, because it's in close range at that point. So let's try, and there's no way I'm going to shoot through the mountain. Yeah, you know what? I just don't think that attack is happening. So what I can do instead is... Oh, no, not close enough. Okay, we'll leave it be. Alright, Foxtrot. Now, that's going to be the... Okay, so I should work out who's actually attacking. So it's a heavy shotgun... And it's a big boy, so... As with... Oh, wow. Range is not that great. Okay. So I do want to be careful about this shotgun. This guy can cause some serious problems. So I want to make sure that I'm sort of... I want to make sure that I'm moving them to places that work to my advantage. So one thing I want to take care of before I go too far here is to see exactly what kind of weapons we're up against. So this thing is rocking a cannon. Alright, looks like everybody's got a cannon. Which means this little cluster I don't need to worry so much about. I mean, I have an easy answer for it anyway. It involves a heavy shield and a lot of running. Oh, actually, you know what? Not even. It involves some karate. Wham. I'll have to work out the angles a little bit. Yeah, so this is a little bit of a shame because I'm going to need to figure out a way of putting some hurt on the shotgunner while simultaneously dealing with the Okay, that's welcome. And if I go for the secondary, it's a little bit of overheating, but I think I'm gonna go for it. So this is going to seem a little weird, but I'm actually going to take my own shotgunner and get him to go toe-to-toe with the enemy here. Protected by the hill, so I'm good. In good shape there. All right, so I suppose the remaining question is, do I want to try and do anything with this tank, or do I want to try and manage these? Actually, I think I already have my answer there. So if I move my... So I move the Foxtrot up here. Let's just get an idea of the optimal range on this thing. 18 to 33. There's a small risk if the hill doesn't turn out to be that good cover, but I think I'm willing to take that risk. And to a certain extent, this is just me spreading the love where I can. No. All right, Starbright Knight, how you doing tonight? Sorry, I was a little into my own world. Again, I'm dealing with being a little dazed over not getting enough sleep. I debated on canceling the stream, but I really don't want to do that, especially on Phantom Brigade, because I love this game so much. And Night Valian, good to see you too. I'm sorry I've been missing your Yakuza 0 streams lately, but I think you already know that I've been really struggling with the bedtimes. And I've been trying to keep I've really been trying to keep disciplined on them. I'm not getting the sleep, unfortunately, but at least like not having a screen on is a big one. But I should let you know you're on my auto host, so even if you don't see the raid message coming from me, anybody who is just sort of lurking in the channel should still be seeing your channel. So I'm sorry I've not been a more active presence in your channel, but I do want to let you know that I've been thinking of you at least. All right, and for those of you who are wondering why I'm taking this time to apologize to Night Valian for not showing up in his place, he is a very good Brazilian streamer, and as some of the qualities that people compliment this stream on, in addition to just being a lot friendlier and generally an overall good guy. Much better at variety as well. I feel like he gets through games quite a bit faster than I do. So if you want to check out his stuff, I highly recommend it. Okay, I think we are ready to go. So I am a little curious to see what happens with my melee unit, but I don't think I'm going to do slow motion on this one. I am just going to take a second here to make sure that my own people aren't crashing into each other, though. Yes, the only real worry here is that this tank is possibly going to cause me some worries. Oh! I got wiped out. Okay, I'm really curious how I got tripped there. This tank is still on the march. I'm a little surprised about that, to be honest. Okay, this guy's mad about the shotgun business, so he's going to want his revenge. Alright, fortunately it's only the barrier that's taken some damage. I am curious if I can just get away with charging in and taking out the bad guys right away. I hate that I'm willing to do... Nah, I don't think I can get away with this much heat damage. I think I'll just stand there. Okay, so we do... Okay, so this I think is going to be public. Well, okay. Who am I targeting with that again? So I'm going to try and move up a little bit so that I can get a follow-up attack on whoever's threatening me. Or no, we already dealt with who's threatening me. In the worst case scenario, we just take some short range cannon fire. It's the long range, stuff that makes me most worried, so I think I can handle that. Now, big question, does my sniper actually have the range to do anything interesting here? And the answer to that is no. So I think the majority of this turn is going to be spent getting to a position where I become relevant. Alright, I don't mind stepping on the... I don't mind stepping on the opposition for that, but it's still not close enough to where I need to be. So if I do one of these... Okay, so I basically spend the whole turn setting up. But once I do... There's no point in starting that because it is the end of the 5 seconds. Mad King, story's great, combat system kind of sucks. Mad King Bro says, I love the combat of the Yakuza series. I found it took a little for it to click for you. You already improves in the later series. Zero is just too old school. Even on easy, you get stun locked into a wall. Oh, interesting. I haven't actually seen that. Every time I've seen you do the combat, you seem to have a good grasp on it, but maybe this is just my unfamiliarity with the series speaking. I don't think I'm going to be able to... Yeah, I can't quite dash to the interesting places here. Yeah, it gets me where I need to go, though. Okay, so here at the 160 mark, they unleash heck. Really specific thing. There's a really specific thing that I want to do here, and that's to try and protect my my sniper. So basically, I'm shotgunning the enemy unit on my way back. I throw up the shield for their retaliation while moving out of range, and then basically, just as I get into range, I shotgun and then step on the tank that's going to be shooting at my sniper. So I think that just leaves... Oh no, we've got that. Did I really take care of everyone? Yeah, so we've got a sniper. Yeah, we do. All right, so this one I'm actually going to put into slow-mo because I want to see what's going on with the melee, and then I also kind of want to see the little skirmish in the background play out. Okay. So it is possible for me to wind up crash over the enemy tanks. That's the second time we did that. And I'm in a really bad spot for those cannon shots. Oh, and I crashed over my own unit. Man, this is a bad turn for me. Keeps going and going. Okay. What are we looking at here? A very banged up Foxtrot. The Sleipnir is not looking all that much better either. So let's start by taking a look at who wants to damage this unit. Okay. So first things first, I'm going to try and make sure... I still need to do melee attacks, of course, but I am going to make sure that I don't have anybody... I want to make sure that I don't have anybody kind of targeting me partway through. Now, this building looks pretty worse for wear, but I'm going to try and take advantage of it for cover nonetheless. So, go through... All right, and people wind up hitting hills and the sides of buildings. All right, that's not a bad place for me to get a little bit of a recharge. And I don't like the fact that I'm only doing sort of one hit with my sword, but at this point I maybe need to get a little less fancy about all of this and just get back to some moves that I know I can do. So here it seems to me that the shotgun guy is public enemy number 1. So after this thing's done crashing, it's eventually going to want to hit me. I don't think I'm quite ready to decide what I want to do with the... Let's figure out what I'm doing with my soon-to-be uncrashed assault unit. So one thing I want to do is try and extend the distance between me and the shotgun. The drawback is that this fellow is going to have some opinions about how I spend my time. So let's say we run through here. Very likely the enemy hits the side of the mount or the hill. That's more of a sidearm job, I think. The second one's probably a little bit more of a hope than anything, but I just want to make sure I'm not even remotely close to shotgun territory for this guy. Okay, so we've got the assault moving, we've got the melee moving, we have already decided what we're doing with the sniper. Oh, actually, the sniper rifle should have more than one go. So I guess the next question would be if my shield bearer is going to be a protector. Who are they protecting? You know what? Let's just go. We'll go for the shots that we can get. A lot of crashed vehicles there. Man, I am... Whoa! What happened to Kilo? What's going on here? I don't know if I think that's KIA, but man... I can understand her tripping over a couple, but like it feels like every melee attack here has resulted in the Sleipnir taking sort of a face plant. I guess I just wish I was paying closer attention to see exactly what was causing all of that. A couple of them I can understand. Like I was sort of under the impression that if you do if you're approaching with the melee strike, you're in a position to sort of, you know, you're in a position to like clobber the enemy team. You know, you're going to be able to make the most of the like you will complete your attack because they're, you know, tanks and you're a mech. That doesn't really seem to be true anymore, which is fine because like obviously building things in such a way where you feel like you can safely ignore tanks is probably not the most exciting way to build the game. But I think on the other hand, like it's obviously in a game like this, it's a little frustrating to feel like you've face planted. Well, like basically that you've run into a situation where you don't feel you had the information at the time to know what the problem was. Like I said, though, I'm probably just not paying attention enough, and I am going to just to reorient myself. I'm going to take a big gulp of this tea and see where we're at. The big question for me is whether or not I want to reload the save if I lose Kilo, because in one sense I do want to have the proper loss. On the other hand, I'd say at least 2 of these face plants are ones where I'm like, where did this come from? So we'll see. I'm sure I can probably watch the video again and see exactly where the problems came from. All right, this guy hasn't gotten enough sniper love, so let's... I think in this case here, I'm going to accept whatever hits I take running in to avoid the shotgun, and I'm going to focus my attention on, well, this is going to be the side of a hill, so that's probably not so exciting. There's probably a couple of surrenders coming in here. Nope. Foxtrot isn't active now? So I'm assuming it's the concussion. I guess these things are just hitting a lot harder than I thought. Command of the base is circled around to the perimeter. We're ready to pick up the squad if needed. Oh. I didn't notice this guy was still kicking around. Oh no, this was the one that surrendered. I feel bad. All right, so I'm thinking it's... I'm so glad people are explaining stuff that I already know. There's a difference between me wondering why my particular pilots are unconscious and not knowing how concussion damage works. And I would have thought at this point that everybody would get that sometimes I say stuff so I can talk during a stream rather than want to have everything explained to me like I'm 5. Alright, let's see what's going on with my pilots. Okay, so brutal fatigue on my folks, but they are still alive. And that's going to be something to keep in mind. So my guess here, I'm going to have to review the video, but my guess here is going to be that the tank's cannons do a lot more concussive damage than I thought before. It could also be that we've overdone our existing pilots, but as night falls, 2 of your pilots approach. "Hey boss," one says, "we're wondering if you might let us stop for the night. We want to watch the satellite shower," the other says. "It's such a clear night and we'll be able to see for miles." So yes, I am definitely willing to spend the 2 hours to try and get my people into some kind of fighting shape. It's still not great. The good news is I do have a bit of a trip ahead of me once we finish the radio station mission. War Memorial. One of your pilots calls out for the mobile base to stop. It's in the field you're passing. She spotted the burned out wreckage of a mech. "It's got our flag, but it doesn't look like one of ours, boss," she says. "It must be an old model. Grass has grown over parts of it, and it looks in a terrible state, but you'll need to get a closer for a proper look." "Doesn't look too far from here. Shall we go take a look?" one of your pilots asks. "Investigate. That could be interesting." That is actually very far away. Alright, well, so much for my thought that we would have a nice long time to get our fatigue back up. Okay, on approach, you approach an isolated radio broadcast tower. It appears eerily calm, and yet the base is picking up too much seismic noise to detect if there are mechs nearby. "A bit worrying, isn't it?" one of your pilots says to you in hushed tones. "Not sure how we should approach this." So stake out, take up flanking positions, and wait for hostile. Recon, move the base closer and prepare a recon squad. Risk small squad size to lower the chance of a fight. Charge. So in this case, I'm actually going to do the recon. Now, last time we did this, we didn't actually have to do a fight. And in this case, if nothing else, doing the small squad size will make sure that the 2 people who are in bad shape don't join the fight. Nope, caught out. Just as you approach to deploy a small squad, the base's control room lights up with warnings of incoming fire. It looks like the enemies were lying in wait nearby. "We won't have time to deploy the whole squad. You'll have to manage with 2, cries the driver. "Quick," shouts one of your pilots. "There's no time to lose." Alright. Oh. I don't get to pick which of the others show up. Alright, that's not so great for Kilo. Actually, so this is a pair that... This is a very poorly set... I mean, it makes sense, right? If I'm going to send them on recon, I can't decide which ones are going to get caught out, but this is going to be tough. Hey, Prometheus. What a persistent bunch. Command won't commit any more drop squads to the site, so let's get this over with. Okay, both start at top level concussive damage, or well, concussive capacity. So they're up against a heavy pair of heavy shotguns. The cannons, on the other hand, are a big worry given what happened last time, and they've got a big open field to target us through. So, I have a specific way that I'm going to approach this. I am going to make sure that my shield is doing the job that they're designed to. It's going to be a little inconvenient, given that... given that they move so slow by comparison. So we'll start with a dash. That's about as close as I'm going to get. It's still not going to protect me fully from... Yeah, this is going to be quite the challenge. Okay, so I'm gonna approach this in a slightly different way. I'm going to start with a charge out like this. Okay, I do have to do the dash. It's not perfect, but it'll cover me for the bit that I need. Okay, let me make sure that this works the way I intend. Okay, so we run up, we get protection from the lance, then we break out, we do our melee strike, and again we still get we wind up hit by the tank fire, but that's gonna have to be the part that I deal with my big guy. So I think my answer here is just gonna be to try and stomp on this as quickly as I can. All right, let's see whether or not this this plays out the way I think it is. Yeah, it's going to. And specifically, I want to see what happens to my concussive damage. gonna say just a flesh wound. I mean, not the greatest protection. I think the bulk of the damage was actually absorbed by the Sleipnir, but we got through it. So now I want to see what happens. We're going to get hit by sort of a naked cannon, although it will be in less than optimal range, so that might have an overall effect. Yeah, this is particularly welcome for taking them off the table for a little bit. Okay, so this guy should be crashing at the start of this turn. So first question I have is it possible for me to be able to... Alright, that is a risk I'm willing to take with the heat. I think I'm just gonna stand and deliver on this one. We're already gonna be hitting him in the back. All right. Not exactly the damage I wanted to do. I wanted to take out the primary weapon, not the shield. This thing is immobile now, so that's one small improvement. I mean, one thing I can already do to position myself slightly more favorably is something like that. I don't want to be too cowed by what happened last time. Oh, actually, here's an idea. So this still gives me protection through the hill, but he comes in for round 2. Yeah, I kind of go in face first on that one, but that I have an answer for. So this isn't going to knock him down, but it is going to get some damage in. Or not do anything at all. Okay, so I got to get out of the way before I... Oh, I think this is going to result in a crash no matter what. So I'll ram... Nope, okay, cool. So I can at least ram the enemy unit. wait it out at least for a little bit. There's a possibility that this doesn't work because I bonk the guy with my shield, but it's a chance I'm willing to take because I kind of need to make stuff happen here. Okay, so we know there's going to be an attack coming from that side. I am going to get myself behind the hill just for some sense of self-preservation. Yeah, that walk doesn't work for me. And I don't see a whole lot of benefit to committing to that attack this turn. Ah, I still wound up... Man, it is way too easy for this guy to get knocked over. Well, the good news, though, is that everything else is completely immobile. So I get a little bit of time to... Okay, so everybody hates the melee unit, so first thing they're going to do is dash to safety. Well, relative safety, I suppose, is the... So if I do one of these and then... Yeah, it gets me there too late. So I basically have a 1 second window in which to... You know what? There is another way to approach this. This is going to be a mess. Really? I don't believe this. What exactly do I think I'm going to accomplish with? Yeah, so this will be... I'll be late to the party on this one, but... trying to think if there's anything I can do. Well, one thing I can do is rearrange the... I mean, it's going to be a weird attack, but at least it puts some ugh. if I'm going to face the hit, I should at least face it head on. Close the distance a bit. And maybe see if I can get a bit of friendly fire coming in there. Booty Snaggles, yeah, it's a turn-based strategy game, but it basically will, as Prometheus said, that this is a game where sort of the hook is that you've got this AI that predicts enemy movements 5 seconds into the future. You could compare it to a game a little bit like Frozen Synapse or Frozen Cortex. I know that the developers have kind of talked about the comparison and why they think there's a difference. I think the main reason this comparison gets made is that Frozen Synapse and Frozen Cortex kind of give you plan everything out and then you get to see the results of your decisions. But the difference between Phantom Brigade and the Frozen Synapse, Frozen Cortex games are that you have perfect knowledge of what your enemy is going to do, whereas the planning in those other games is you making your best guess in terms of what the enemy is going to do. The other comparison I would make would be Into the Breach, because Into the Breach is going to give you perfect knowledge of what the enemy is going to do next turn and the order in which it happens. Obviously, in the case of this game, it's all simultaneous, but there's a lot of interesting strategy that comes out of the knowledge that, a certain sequence of events is going to happen, and you can, allow for things like friendly fire. The one difference I would say in the case of Into the Breach is that it's actually a little more probabilistic, in the sense that, if you have a certain amount of energy, there's the possibility that there's going to be protection for those buildings and such. Anyways, I'm kind of curious in seeing how this turn's gonna shape up. So number one, I want to see whether or not the attack works. If I can get the right-hand side taken out, I'm in good shape. So this will hopefully take out the tank. It's kind of a boring start because everybody's finishing off the disaster of last turn. Okay, it's taken out, so even if we don't successfully hit here... Yes! Okay, things are looking up. I got very scared off of the last round. Okay, so this guy's probably going to do an attack on the melee unit, so first thing I want to do is my own melee attack to sort of anticipate the hit. That should be enough to take them out as far as a crash is concerned. But just in case, I want to try and clear the distance. Or actually, hang on. So that attack happens at the 1.5 second mark, which is exactly when I finish the hit. So whatever happens has already... It's kind of already done. So I suppose the last question would be the 3 or 4... No, I gotta... I'm fine being a bit of a scaredy cat. Oh! That was a big hit to the... That was a big hit to the back. I don't know what happened there. But we got victory and nobody was knocked unconscious, so... Congratulations, you now have control of the site and may see hope rise in the region. 30-second battle, 2,248 damage taken, 5,020 damage inflicted, no units lost, no subsystems on site, 51 actions planned, 707 meters traveled, 4 units destroyed, no parts, 90 supplies, and... I mean, the shotguns are... They take a short time to run. So I might wind up putting them on the lands, but we'll see where it goes. Your squad emerges victorious, though tired from battle. The defector is safe, and you're able to rescue her from the station. I didn't know if you'd get to me in time, she says, relief evident on her face. I promised information in exchange for this extraction, didn't I? She hands you a sheath of paper, and you unroll them to find valuable industrial blueprints. She's also bought some supplies from the station with her. You can dispatch a salvage team to the site to recover any usable parts and supplies. However, the mobile base will need to remain stationary with them. Well, I am a little curious about something here. So Kilo is certainly doing the worst. So we're currently at minus 78. I want to see exactly what we get for sitting and salvaging. Okay. $67. So it's about 10-ish, I guess. We do have a new pilot though, so I should. Oh. As your renown rises, the people hear of your good pilot. As your renown rises, the people hear of the good your pilots are doing. So you start to get more requests from people who would like to join your ranks. Some of them fought in the last war. Others are untested but full of passion after watching the enemy wreck their homes. The sentiment in particular has pilots clamoring to join you. If resources permit, it may be a good opportunity for you to strengthen your forces. Hint: pilots can be recruited in the mountain base and any settlement that is located in friendly territory. So I do need to take a look for towns along the way. We now have 2 sort of replacements if we need, and it's very likely that I'll want to give Kilo some time off. Sorry guys, I'm still feeling really fuzzy from the day. War Memorial. You approach with caution, but the coast is clear. There are more abandoned mechs here than you could see from the road, and they seem to be getting more numerous the further away from the road you get. Oh, I know where we are, your pilot exclaims. I heard there were some memorials from the old war out here, but I've never seen them. If we have time, I'd love to pay my respects, another says. Ruins. As your mobile base trundles towards the memorial, you hear a commotion up front. It looks like some enemy troops have set up shop in the memorial, creating some kind of base here. We can't let this stand, says one of your pilots. This is meant to be a peaceful place, but we have to evict them, right, boss? Suit up. So, let's... As much as I'd love to have sort of the same group of people going on every mission... I don't want to edit the unit, I want to edit the pilot. Oh, this is okay. Nope, not Tango. It feels so wrong to put these new people in. Okay, the parts really aren't doing that much for me, so I think we're just going to jump straight into the fight. No identification received. Targets continue closing in. Reinforcements needed. So this is a looting mission. Now, I've said this a couple of times about these missions. They're really interesting from a, just from the perspective of, just giving the player something new and interesting to do. My only complaint with them is that it does say that to get sort of the most out of these missions, you do want to sort of take out all of the defenders, and so it might be fair for it would be fair for me to say that I do so I'm trying to think of the right way to put it. Now, having run into a battle where, why is this 80%? If it's 80% there, I might as well just do the 80% when they're further away. That way I can get a second shot on. I'll take the shots on the first guy. So yeah, it's really interesting to have a mission where sort of you need to go to a certain location and stay a couple of turns to be able to get what you wanted out of it. And the real drawback is because it sort of says that you get the best outcome when you, I want to make sure I'm not, yeah. So if I can take advantage of cover, that would be best. Thing is, this is a slow-moving unit. It does mean, however, that I'm able... Oh, nope. We are up against a, well, light machine gun though, so this isn't really that big of a threat. I'm pretty sure if I dash, then they both collide. Yeah. I wonder if I can dash just a little bit ahead. Cool. It's an unconventional solution, but it still works. And largely keeps me behind cover, although they're already shooting into a building, so I'm not too panicked about that. Anyways, sorry, I'm trying to talk about the hit and run mission. So yeah, so it is kind of interesting in this. You now have an objective where you need to stay in place, and there's potentially going to be enemies shooting after you. But because it says that you can get the best outcome by taking out all the enemy units, the fact that I know that I can get the most from completing the mission as I would any other one, I sort of feel undermines the sort of the edge that this type of mission had. Now it may change, it may change over the course of development. There might be some other plans that they have for this this type of mission in the future. But my one, not even real gripe, but maybe just my one sort of thought about this mission is that I really like the idea that there's going to be multiple mission types, but just the way the incentives are set up right now, it sort of feels like the game really wants me to sort of stand and shoot all the enemies. This is kind of more of a preparation move for my for the Hermes. What I'm probably going to wind up doing, so I wanted to keep them open a little bit here because they have the outside option of ducking behind the building. If this tank doesn't do anything to take them out, then they're just going to run out and pick up the objective over here. And again, this enemy has a submachine gun, so it's not that big of a threat. Now, there's really no reason for me to do this, but I do want to see how the dashes work between my people, so we are going to do this in slow motion. Like a ballet. I don't know if that's enough to kill, but it's a good start. So that's going to be a shot that goes into the side of the mountain. I'll take my 80% on the enemy mech. So sort of as predicted, the tank is going to go for the shot on the Hermes. Fortunately, it looks like the Hermes is just going to be able to run straight through the area and collect the goodies. So one of the reasons I wanted to do that with the Hermes is that this frees my melee unit up. Oh, it would if there wasn't a submachine gun waiting for them. But maybe we can steer clear. So what's the optimal range on that thing again? 24 to 48. Yeah, so I'm just going into optimal range as I do that attack. Well, nuts. They were smart the way they set up that turn. But you know what? I'm going to accept the damage. And I want to see if there's a way that I can... Perfect. This is basically going to be about getting me in position for the next batch of goodies. This guy's just kind of going to wind up lumbering along for the first little bit. I need to make sure that I don't get them in the way of any item shipments. No damage? Oh no, it's inactive. Drone has a rough location of the crate, but we're going to need another ping to ensure it's picked up. Stay at the location and finish this. Alright. So this time I'm just going to let the melee unit stay in the background. But I have a big scary lance. Well, working away at the melee unit. Admittedly, it's not the optimal range, but in this case, I'm quite content to just beat the crap out of them while they're shooting into a wall. The other question I have is there a way for me to get my sniper in a good shot to do something about this? Hello. Yeah. Well, it dinged him, but didn't quite do enough. Okay, so the attack's going to come on the land. I need to make sure that somebody's in the region to pick things up. So
I would never want to belong to any club.
it's the Danger, Carlos Danger. Thank you very much for the follow. Glad you're enjoying the game. If you have any questions, feel free to speak up in chat. Otherwise, I hope you enjoy me stumbling along on a slightly less... I don't know, I kind of feel like the last few streams we were kind of shooting the lights out on a lot of the missions. And that first one from tonight kind of traumatized me. So the thing is, this case we're just going to trade shots. And the real purpose, of course, is to just let my sniper go to town. So probably not be good for salvage, but he's already made me mad. If we can clear him out in time for turn 3. Don't! Shot my own guy. Decelerating. Let's flank and finish them off. Okay, 4 new contacts on the field. Of course, we're sort of prepared for them. We need to see where they come from. Okay, it's 4 tanks. Now it's on a hilly area, so it is going to be a little bit of a pain for my melee unit to operate in it. There's a very small chance that I'm going to be able to get away with a primary attack on this unit and still be able to hide behind the hills. My sniper is in a particularly dreadful spot for it, so we're gonna... Honestly, I'm really doing this to see if I can. That's way too long to wait. So close, but not quite enough to get where I wanted to go. I do need to find a way to get to high ground, though. Otherwise, the sniper is going to be completely useless. Alright, well, I'm going to be useless on the first turn. Hermes, on the other hand, is always going to deliver, so we'll get into optimal range and just try and open fire as much as we can. That probably won't be enough to take out the ringleader, but we at least have some ability to help me out. Yeah, the rest of this is everybody just getting in position, so... Oh, but I can take the lance to... take the lance to cause some trouble. It's probably... Yeah, we're not going to get close enough to have a major impact, but we will at least be able to throw out the shield and give them another target. Oh, cool. We did take out one. Okay, so let's see if the strategy with the melee unit's gonna work first. Okay, different heights. Boy, they really like making life difficult. Alright, now what I'm really curious about, I am 99% sure that we're going to be able to immobilize this one off of that one hit. What I want to know is, am I going to be able to go in for a second helping? Yes. Alright. So of course, if we don't successfully derail this unit, I'm in some trouble. But it's possible that we'll be able to get 2 solid hits on two tanks. As an intermediate step, let's get the lance in position to do some more serious damage. I'm probably going to hit the side of a mountain on that. Okay, so I'm just going to set myself up for the attack over here. Then we move back. And if we can pull off the same thing we did with his comrade, it should only take us 2 shots to make this work. Finally, let's take the sniper. Again, I got to be conscious about my range on this thing. So, Olaf, thank you very much for the host. How you doing tonight? Okay, so what I'm going to do here instead is we'll take the... First of all, I can add a little bit of time on the attack, then we move out of the way, and a sniper shot comes in to finish the job. I'm feeling really, really tired and very foggy. We had an interesting battle in the sense that I lost 2 people to unconsciousness. First time I've ever had that happen, and it's probably because there was a higher level set of enemies than I normally go up against. But it definitely really threw me for a loop. So I'm sort of trying to recapture my my momentum, my feeling during this game. But otherwise, trying to do my best. How are you doing tonight? It was actually really nice. Actually, I should take a second here. Every once in a while, I do get to shout out Olaf. Not so much for his stream, although he does occasionally do one. I've not had the pleasure, but I did have the delight of see him stream with Miss Ariella. Oh, wait a minute. I got this wrong, didn't I? Why isn't my shout-out working? Okay, anyways, Olaf was... I don't know why it's not working with Miss Ariella. But Olaf was streaming Borderlands with Miss Ariella, who is a streamer that I got to meet in Vancouver when we both lived there. Ariella is originally from Australia. and has since moved back. But every once in a while I get a chance to watch her. Olaf is a tireless and faithful mod for... tireless and faithful mod. Just getting the link. There we go. And I kind of feel bad because in a sense, like there's no like shout out for mods other than sort of recognition for a job well done. But Olaf has actually been really good in sort of being the resident lurker, but like doing so in a way that sort of reminds me that he's there and appreciates my stuff. And I think also I have modded for channels in the past. I don't do it as much now as I used to, but I do appreciate how difficult it is. And so, I don't know, like, it's one thing to have a streamer recognize the effort that you're putting in, because, I mean, in the end, the broadcaster's the one who benefits the most from those kinds of, that kind of donation of time and energy. But as a viewer, I sort of need to recognize that it's people like Olaf who do make my viewing experience and other channels really good. So if you do want to watch that one stream a year he keeps threatening to do, you can follow him. But if you are looking for a place to hang out, Nasariella is where you can find him. He has a sinister British accent. I say sinister because basically every action movie has, British accents for the bad guys because the Americans apparently still have not gotten over the Revolutionary War. But only if you like League. I mean, League isn't my thing, but I do enjoy hanging out with good people playing things that they're interested in. Anyways, Olaf is definitely someone who I appreciate having stopped by, and certainly is somebody who's put a lot of effort into making the stream someone I know much better than it otherwise would be. So let's watch the magic happen in real time this time. Okay, inactive, but there we go, another crash. Okay, so let's start by... This kind of seems like a job custom built for the sniper. It's slightly outside of optimal range, but we can make do. Oh, well, if I'm gonna go smashing into this, let's just throw up the shield and get it done properly. And just in case the 2 sniper shots aren't enough, we'll also add the assault rifle. Victory! Congratulations, you now have control of the site and may see hope rise in the region. 35-second battle, 823 damage taken, 4,887 damage inflicted, 86 actions planned, 1,448 meters traveled, 5 units destroyed, 196 supplies detected on site. I'm always happy for the gyro. Well, I guess it's the hydraulics that I'm a little more interested in. No real mech parts to speak of. But I'll live with it. Okay. So it seems like we don't actually get anything. So I'm gonna check out the radio station just for the sake of argument. Let's also see if there's any towns nearby. This might give us another... So one, this might give us another another pilot. It also gives me a little extra time to get the fatigue off of my my elite squad. Recruitment. As your renown rises, the people hear of the good your pilots are doing. You start to, as your renown rises and people hear of the good your pilots are doing, you start to get more requests from people who would like to join your ranks. Some of them fought in the last war, others are untested but full of passion after watching the enemy wreck their homes. This settlement in particular has pilots clamoring to join you. If resources permit, it may be a good opportunity for you to strengthen your forces. So we'll hop from town to town. It's not the most efficient path towards the region that I want to liberate, but it seems like a good way for me to try and get some extra bodies. One of your pilots up front call out to you, and they tell you that they've gotten some intel on a group selling equipment nearby. If you fancy taking a look. Take a second and go to the market. The base slows down next to a small market stall on the side of the road. The stretch of road is quiet, and one of your pilots asks the person manning it, "Do you actually get much business out here?" "Not much," the stallholder says, "but it's too dangerous to travel with goods anymore. Maybe you can help me out by trading with me. I'll be sure to tell everyone of your generosity if you do." So yes, extra hope is nice, minus 750 scrap for loot. I'm not doing anything else with the scrap, so this is just me having a chance to be a nice guy. Oh, looks like we're full up. Encoded signal. You detect an encoded signal emanating from somewhere in the province. We could probably decode this if you think it's worth the trouble, says one of your pilots, but we'll need to stop and triangulate the source of the signal. Scrap fell off a truck. There's a whooping of victory from one of your pilots. You and your squad gather round her, bathed in the glow of the blue screen she sits in front of. "I think that's done it," she says. She looks back at you. "Take a look, boss. Looks like we got ourselves a defector." "Is that right?" says the pilot beside you. "Yep. They say they've got some valuable intel for us. Could be bogus, but if this intel really is valuable." Okay, let's... I'm curious if this winds up being the same... Oop. Okay. You approach an isolated radio broadcast tower. It appears eerily calm, yet the base is picking up too much seismic noise to detect if there are mechs nearby. A bit worrying, isn't it? Says one of your pilots to you in hushed tones. Not sure how we could approach this. Let's do the stakeout this time. Advantageous positioning. Your squad takes position surrounding the radio station, keeping far enough back that you won't be detected. You shush your squad mates, griping on the radio about being cold. You're almost ready to give up when a squad of enemy soldiers shows up at the station searching for the defector. You spring your trap and attack with a flanking position. Alright, so I do just want to take a quick look here at my pilots. Okay, everybody's reset in terms of their... fatigue and whatnot, so we're gonna switch out the B team. And we'll take a quick peek at what we can do with our mechs, because we have gotten a few items. I just don't think there's anything too exciting. Yeah. There may be other parts, but nothing I'll worry about this time. So usually when it gives us advantageous positioning, it's actually not advantageous for the sniper who has to move out of the way to make everything work. Decelerating, let's flank and finish them off. Stake out advantage to eliminate all hostiles, to take control of the site, and rescue the defector. The enemy units are isolated, no incoming reinforcements detected. So, this is not trivial. We got a pair of handguns, a marksman rifle. That might be a worry. A medium handgun, heavy handgun. Formex, 2 tanks. So except for the marksman rifle, they're all relatively short-range weapons. Let's start with the sniper and basically just see who we can make sad with all of our shots. If I can focus on one target, that sort of works best for me. So what I think I'm going to do here is I'll move... If I move up... Okay, what if I wait? What I'm trying to do here is, because they're going to be attacking me, I start the dash as they go up the hill, they start firing at me, I hit them with my sword. There is still probably going to be some damage that comes from the handgun, but in this case here I'm just able to sort of make the most of the turn as I run into range and try and get a swipe at my real target, which is the marksman. Oh man, the height thing drives me to distraction. So I wonder if I can pull off the... Alright. I can't believe that actually works. So what I'm going to do here... Oh man. Alright, well, I'm going to have to rely on a little bit of luck here. My timing could not be better for the arrival of the sniper shots in both cases, so I'm hoping I don't do too much damage to my melee unit through friendly fire. The thing is, the timings on that are not going to work any other way. Now this is going to be a little inconvenient for my Hermes. If I basically kind of need to leave them alone for the first... Well, okay, there's actually one thing I might be able to do, which is just a wild spray and pray at the very start. Actually, you know what? I probably get away with 2 rounds of that. This is basically just me waiting for the threat to go away. And what I really want to focus on is that unit in the back, because I already have my sniper working on their comrade. Okay, hopefully that works as far as heat's concerned. So I guess the last thing I have is my lance. I kind of just want to see this thing run into me. And then I'll move, I'm going to move slightly out of, so I forgot that these things have autocannons. Move slightly out of, well, I'll just go on the aggressive. Alright, let's watch the magic happen in slow motion. Bunch of misses, always a good start. This will be interesting. God, I love the way that looks. I completely forgot, of course. Oh! Oh god, I thought that was me, I really thought that was me, crashing. This is gonna wreak havoc with my sniper, though. This thing's still alive. Letting my sniper just get demolished by this guy. I wasn't even paying attention to the retaliation on them. So I'm not sure which of these two I'm going to target with the sniper rifle next. I guess it depends on how... Okay, well, his right arm's down, so he's going to be out of commission. So sniper is perfect target for this guy. So that's okay, 2 ejections already. That's fantastic. Okay, so it looks like he gets to... He gets away with murder there. I'm mad. I will try and recover things, though. We'll let it simmer down behind the cover. You're killing me, game. Oh, wow. Okay, that really is different heights, though. Okay, well, if that's true... I'm willing to take a small risk on this. So... the hope here is that he's shooting through the building for the majority of the time. Out for a little bit. Now. I'm basically gonna have to follow them even into the damage if I wanna. Well, screw it. Let's go for it. Wait, why do I need to do that? If I just stay put... This guy almost comes to me. Oh, that's great. And we get some cover from the tank too. So with that in mind, I'm going to run the Hermes up. See if we can cause some misery on the tanks. Just gonna try and give it a wide berth to make sure that I'm still in the... I mean, we can do better. It's kind of skirting the edge, but it's good enough. Okay, so I know this thing's going to get taken out by the end of the turn. I should probably be spending a little more... should be paying a little more attention to... actually, there's a really easy solution to this. Okay, so I'm going to try something different here. What I want to try and do is promote friendly fire if I can. Okay, second best. The idea here is that this is a medium, whereas this is going to be a heavy with a shield up. So that's hopefully going to bonk this guy on the head. I'm still going to wind up with an autocannon in the back, but one shotgun. Two shotgun. Not enough, but we still protected ourselves. That guy got taken out. This guy just lost... I didn't think he had a shield. Okay, so he's gonna attack my own guy. I am, of course, ready with a shield already. Oh, this works perfectly, actually. So I just need to stand. What's great about this is that I can actually move I can move the Hermes in place. So as soon as I'm done hitting him with the shotgun, he's in perfect position for the assault rifle to hit him in the face. And to add insult to injury, I'm going to move my sniper. Wait, I can do better than that. Okay, yes, I am actually this stupid. I am going to try and see if I can get a melee strike in too. No, that is one move I cannot get done. But we can at least move them into position. So I am sort of looking forward to seeing what this turn looks like. Gotta make sure everything that's in play is going to be in slow motion though. Let's do it from the other side so that the trees aren't obscuring the view. Alright, and we'll watch this in slow motion because that is the fanciest option. So he's going to trip, and that's going to cause some problems for my... actually, the assault rifle's not that far off, so... Obviously, that would have screwed the melee attack. Oh yeah, we didn't even need to worry about any others. I don't think we need to see the full display. Cool. All hostiles eliminated. Site under control. 15-second fight. 933 damage taken. 5,270 damage inflicted. 49 actions planned. 510 meters traveled. 4 units destroyed. 179 supplies. And a couple of heavy arrow parts. Defector rescued. Your squad emerges victorious, though tired from battle. The defector is safe, and you're able to rescue her from the station. I didn't know you'd get if you'd get to me on time, she says, relief evident on her face. I promised information in exchange for this extraction, didn't I? She hands you a sheath of paper, and you unroll it to find valuable industrial blueprints. She's also brought some supplies from the station with her. You can dispatch a salvage team to this site to recover any usable parts and supplies. However, the mobile base will need to remain stationary with them. So, I'm a little surprised that we needed repairs, but I also keep forgetting that with the update, the repairs are usually very minor. I think it's actually fairly difficult to get through a mission without needing some kind of repair. Oh, Jesus, we're not going to get anywhere close to Brostland at this rate. This will actually be a decent little test to see whether or not... This will be a decent test to see whether or not the consciousness problems I was having stemmed from the level difference. Also, given the fact that this is happening. So this is happening frequently enough that I'm not able to make it to Brostland. It might make sense to just take out Bjorn to stop the attack squads. Birthday wishes. During some downtime, one of your pilots approaches you, looking sheepish. Hey boss, he says. Look, I don't mean to bother you, but, well, it's my birthday today, and a few of us were wondering if we could do a little something to celebrate. We've been working so hard lately, it'd be nice to relax. Behind him you see a couple of your pilots looking on eagerly, awaiting your response. So we could throw a small party, let them eat cake. We lose 2 hours, 100 supplies, get 15 fatigue, sing happy birthday. A rousing song is sure to set the birthday mood. Or do nothing. Birthdays hardly matter when there are occupying forces on your land. Well, it's not like one of our settlements is about to become under siege. Polaris has earned a birthday party. It's February the 8th, right? A hostile squad has target locked the base, and combat is imminent. Your driver tells you that if you're not prepared to face the enemy, you might be able to execute an emergency retreat. Otherwise, your pilots will need to fight. Well, we're here to fight, but I could use a really quick trip to the bathroom, so I will be back in just a second, and we will be ready to do a bigger fight. See you guys in a sec. Alright, sorry about that. I think this is the consequence of drinking coffee after coffee and tea after tea to try and keep awake during the day. Suit up. Let's take a quick look to see if we can make anything out of these arrow parts. Level 5, not even worth checking. Yeah, so this is going to be kind of interesting, actually. This is probably the best argument for me heading north. If we can eliminate these attack squads, as well as get some better gear for my soldiers, it might make sense. I did kind of want to try and do things in the numerical order, but I don't know. We'll see. I'll give it one more shot, and we'll see. We'll see where it all winds up. No identification received. Targets continue closing in. Reinforcements needed. So we've got 2 contacts, and reinforcements arrive on turn 3. All right, so this shouldn't be the end of the world. I'm a little worried about the cannon. Flat cannon is a fairly short-range attack. So, of course, the fact that they're targeting the melee unit is a bit of a concern. But first things first, I'll hide behind the building for starters. I mean, I only get a small chance to sort of move in closer, but the idea is going to be that I can probably take out the tank fairly quickly. That's weird that that's an 81% chance when I'm standing still. Okay, well, let me just see how this works. Okay, so if I just move myself to the right slightly, maybe a little more slightly than that. What I'm trying to do here is encourage friendly fire. I suppose the good news is that my big damage dealers are completely ignored this turn. Well, unless I make them the focus. Ooh, gotta be careful about the Hermes. Alright, so I can actually afford to be a little more aggressive with the movement. So I'll wait it out as much as I can, but in this case I'm actually going to go behind the cover just to prep for the next turn. This unit, on the other hand, is very specifically designed to be in your face, so happy to move them up. And shotguns. Until I realize that I am about to nail my sniper, so I'll slightly adjust the path. It's still going to be the same outcome, but... Oof. I don't think this is a valid solution, but I think in this case it makes as much sense for this unit to just wait. Oof. I don't really get to participate in any of the fun. Did not hit a single thing. Okay, well that one hides too soon. This guy gets into perfect range though. Okay, so let's start by taking a look and see who gets targeted. So it's the Hermes that gets targeted by the mech. So as is sort of tradition, get into a good spot and just open up on the enemy unit. So they'll be coming around the corner then. And it's very unlikely I'm going to be able to get a third. It looks like the lance is being ignored, so that works to my advantage. I can get a second round of shotguns into the back. Oh wow, that works really well. Alright, let's see how it works. Not quite enough to seal the deal, it looks like. Wow, that guy definitely has... Okay, he's ready to eject. Might be that he gets taken out by this... Excuse me. Could be he gets taken out by the sniper shot, but this would really be an ideal candidate for the ejection. They're in a completely intact mech right now. I don't think they're going to make it though. This guy, on the other hand, is still ready to go to war. Okay, so for the melee unit, I'm going to move him right up here. It's very likely that this tank is going to target the melee unit next turn, so if I can do something to take him out over here, so much the better. My lance always takes its sweet time to get places, so I'm going to move him in position. We can at least get some starting shotguns. So at this point, I think I'm happy to wait out the... So this will just kind of give me maximum effectiveness on the shots. What happened to my health here? Probably should have been paying closer attention to my my vitals. So it's at the end of the turn that this thing gets an attack on me. So what I'm going to do is sort of a consolation, at least for myself. I'm going to steer him behind the hill just in case. Now the real test, am I able to take something out? No, it's in the way. Then again, I probably need to be focusing on this fella. I'm gonna collide right into this guy. And I would have been very angry. Right, I can't sword slash something that's apparently gonna be in the sky. I can, however, do so with 2 sniper shots. Yeah, he got taken out. Good. Wow, that thing's tough. Alright, clearly number 1 priority is for me to try and protect my my melee unit. This should at least cause the cause this unit to crash. I only get to go one way. I'm assuming change of position should be able to help us with that. No, and I think it's the fact that they're close to that. Okay, actually, now that I think of it, with a melee attack, it's also likely that tank's probably going to go flying. So, as a secondary target. Alright, different heights. Alright, fine, then we dash. Nope, because it's too hot. We dash into the secure location, all the while they fire into the back of the vehicle. You know what? I think I'm willing to take the risk on that one. Heavy machine gun and a medium handgun. Okay, so it's just as well that it's the medium handgun. I don't have too much to fear from the trooper, although... that's the left-hand side, right? No, right arm. You had to take the shot. So even though it's fairly remote, the fact that I might be able to take out a primary weapon, I think is worth it for me. I suppose one thing I could do is try and learn a sense of self-preservation. We'll set up the shield. Again, this is why I'm heading behind the hill, just to avoid too much in the way of retaliation. Although looks like I've crowded out one of my other units in terms of protection. Yeah, that I'm not so crazy about. There's nothing really stopping me from going this far. It still feels like there's not quite enough protection for that mech, but also, I am really sorry. I've been I really feel like I'm on autopilot. I don't know if this is all that much fun to watch. Like I'm at a point where I don't even remember sentences that I've said kind of 2 minutes ago. So I apologize if some of this isn't making sense. I'm really running on empty. I know I've been talking for the last couple of weeks about the difficulty in getting some sleep. It's kind of come to a head today. I had a lot of work that I need to get done, and I did get it done. But like I'm definitely feeling a bit like a zombie right now, and I hope it's not affecting the broadcast too much. But I'm definitely sort of. I feel like I'm saying sentences that don't actually make a whole lot of sense. Okay, let's try this again. So we wait. We take our shots. All right, one on this guy, one on the tank. This tank's definitely still going to be alive, though. Lower body was a little different than what I was expecting. I actually probably saved him from most of the damage. Okay, a bit different from what I had planned. Ooh, actually, that's going to make life really difficult for me. Okay. Different heights. No, it's legit. So if I just do This is an extremely weird way to do an escape, but so basically, here's how this is going to work. Melee charge, I overheat, but melee charge to this unit. This is probably going to make it crash. I then sort of run out the turn from safety. Slightly adjust my position. So the idea here is to try and spread the damage over the two. Now, what I'd like to try and do here is, as much as I'd like to, well, you know what? I can probably afford a little on the edge. What I'm going to try and do here is to maximize the amount of damage that I do to this unit over here, because it's the hardest one for me to reach through my other means. And then the sniper gets to mop up anybody who I don't think has gotten quite enough attention. Oh, that timing works out really well, actually. Is this thing gonna surrender? Nope. It's gonna finish crashing. It's not a perfect shot, but it will give me some reinforcements. Yeah, I don't think the assault rifle would have been enough to take that tank out on its own. Okay. Congratulations, you have control of the site and may see hope rise in the region. We lasted 30 seconds, 1,193 damage taken, 8,480 damage inflicted, no units lost, no subsystems detected on site, 75 actions planned, almost a kilometer traveled, 5 units destroyed, 193 supplies, and a bunch of fairly high quality parts. But we'll see whether or not. Yeah, none of them are rare, so probably all headed for the scrapyard. If you don't mind, there's one small thing I'd like to check. Okay. We didn't really get to start rescuing a province, but, you know, I'll admit there hasn't been a lot of activity inside of chat lately, and I'm not sure if that's just because the stream hasn't been that good and sort of people have quietly shuffled away. Or people prefer to lurk. Please don't take, if you're just lurking and enjoying the broadcast, you know, please don't let that be something that sort of draws you out. But I hope you don't mind. I'm going to be pretty strict at finishing at the 3-hour mark. So that means I've got about half an hour left of this in me. And part of that's just because I'm feeling like when I'm at, oh Jesus. Yeah, we keep getting all these side missions. When your pilot calls out for the mobile base to stop, in the field you're passing, she spotted a burned-out wreckage of a mech. It's got our flag, but it doesn't look like one of ours, boss, she says. It must be an old model. Grass has grown over parts of it, and it looks in a terrible state, but you'll need to get closer for a proper look. So I usually do like following through on the events. But yeah, especially when I get to a point where I've had a couple of times when broadcasting, inevitably whenever I'm just too sleepy, that you know, I'll say sentences and then not even remember what I just said. Like, you know, I have the sentence formed in my head and then I have no idea if what I just said resembles English. It's one of these points where I'm sort of like, I probably should have just called the stream. So yeah, sorry if I'm not delivering this week. I really do want to do my best with Phantom Brigade, but I'm really feeling the consequences of my choices. War Memorial. You approach with caution, but the coast is clear. There are more abandoned mechs here than you could see from the road, and they seem to be getting more numerous the further away from the road you get. Oh, I know where we are, your pilot exclaims. I heard that there were some memorials from the old war out here, but I've never seen them. If we have time, I'd love to pay my respects, another says. Thank you, Olaf. You're very, very kind. Ruins. As your mobile base trundles towards the memorial, you hear a commotion up front. It looks like some enemy troops have set up shop in the memorial, creating some kind of base here. We can't let this stand, says one of your pilots. This is meant to be a peaceful place, but we have to evict them, right, boss? Suit up. Hey, Fragist, how you doing? Rebel unit sighted. Oh, requesting. Sorry, I was looking at something in the other window. So, what are we working with here? 2 mechs. One with a medium handgun and a shield, one with a heavy shotgun and a shield. So definitely not the kind of thing I want to be engaging at close range. As it happens, I don't know quite how I'm going to make the physics work. I really want to get my sniper on that hill, on that building. I don't think I can, though. Oh, that's not even close. Alright, but this is actually a bit of a dilemma for me, because I'm not really sure where I should be putting my sniper. I suppose the best I can hope for them is to just be here. And I sort of bungled the placement, so I guess it's got to be... Oh, Jesus, that is a tight window. Here's hoping. Alright, let's just bypass the whole inconvenience, and the Hermes is fast. It also means that yeah, I can't get away with that. Okay, so let's go around. Probably the more likely of the two. But I still slam into my own guy. I mean, clever idea, but didn't really deliver. Okay, so here's what I can do instead. The problem is that the lumbering lance doesn't quite get where it needs to in time. Now that that's done, I believe I should be able to move the Hermes up. Yeah. Still not actually going to do anything. Alright, let's just make sure I'm behind the building during that attack. I am. So this is really a placement, really more of a placement turn. And we got one hit in. Okay, let's see what we're up against. Some Attacks on the Lance and the Hermes. Excuse me. I just need a minute. I'm gonna stretch. I'm gonna have some water. I'm gonna try and get a little more gas in the tank to try and bring this mission home. Sorry about this, just a second. All right, so I feel like I just detached every every limb out of its sockets, but that actually did sort of perk me up a little bit. Just in time for bed. Okay. So, let's do you want to see if I can get a quick yoga? Yeah, I mean, so the drawback is that, like, obviously my first priority is to, you know, to get my work done, right? You know, nobody's like a work super fan, but if I'm gonna take someone's money, I'm gonna do the job. So just as a precaution, I'll set up the shield once the attack comes. This is really more about freeing things up for the Hermes, though. We'll wait it out a little bit. But yeah, so, you know, if I'm gonna take someone's money for a job, I'm gonna do it properly. And so, you know, I can't undo whatever sleepless night I had, but at the very least, I can, you know, like I'll drink my coffee, I'll do what I can to try and perk up and just otherwise be productive. And I did mostly get what I needed to get done on time. The stuff that I couldn't get done was actually due to technical problems that were sort of outside of my control. So as far as a day at work is concerned, I managed to deliver. But the fact of the matter is that, like, I put the effort in, and it's really clear that, you know, I had enough for sort of that last push, you know, get me through the workday, but the extra stream was definitely that was a choice. It's not necessarily the right choice. I will also confess to one of the reasons why I got to bed a bit later than I wanted to yesterday was I did want to make sure that I was up to date on all the vodcasts and whatnot, and pre-recorded material. So I was recording another episode of Oblivion, which I'm really enjoying, by the way, but I know not everybody watches that on Tuesday, so I had to plunder Phantom Brigade in order to be able to get your weekly Elder Scrolls. Okay, so obviously the attacks in the street weren't happening, so I just decided I'd run over here, pick up the reward. If the enemy wants to make a big deal out of it, I can sort of run into the corner behind the building here. If they do try to attack my melee unit, pretty much every other unit has an attack from behind on them, so we should be in good shape. As far as this one's concerned, the Lance is definitely in a position to be able to capitalize on its position. Sorry, to be able to capitalize on its sort of its sturdiness and its... Oh, that guy is going to be out of commission. John is a rough location of the crate, but we're going to need another ping to ensure that it's picked up. Stay at the location to finish this. Okay, so this guy's going to eject. Lance is ready to pick up the goods, although perhaps this isn't the unit that I would want doing that, because of course my sniper is now nowhere remotely close to being effective. We are going up against a medium handgun though, so it's not the end of the world if they deliver some damage. I am, however, going to I'm going to try and make life a little less precarious for myself. All right, so the usual routine here. We're sort of switching partners to make sure we minimize damage and maximize our own damage output. Drat, it's the left arm that went down. Commander, the base is circled around to around the perimeter. We're ready to pick up the squad if needed. Okay, so this guy is definitely not going to give up over missing shield arm. So time for the Hermes to go to protection. And then we'll pop our head out to finish out the turn. Now, can I get a... There's a small chance I might be able to snipe. Interesting. Again, as much as I'd love to do really exotic moves, the fact of the matter is I just need a clear shot on the enemy. Ideally, oh, but I can't shoot through buildings. That's why I wanted that high ground. Wasn't completely out to lunch. I'm skirting the edge of what I need, but not really sure what I'm going to be doing with this melee unit, but who doesn't have orders? Oh, my lance. Alright, well. Ooh. Sorry about that. Alright, decelerating. Let's flank and finish them off. 4 new enemy contacts. Let's find out where. Ah, behind us. And they're all tanks. Alright, well. Christmas came early. So I'm going to start going up the hill here. I'm still going to target whatever tank I can, but the idea is that hopefully the melee unit's going to be able to take care of the ones that are on level ground, and everybody else is going to be able to take care of the tanks on the bumpy road. This is one of these rare cases where going on the building I originally wanted to actually is going to pan out as the best option. So as usual, I'm going to try 2 sniper shots. It doesn't seem to have been effective at taking out a tank at this level. I think the best I can hope for is some serious damage on it. But I don't know. We'll we'll focus our attention as best as I can and see what sticks. This is kind of firing wildly, but mostly just get a early effect on one of the newcomers. And where is the melee? So one worry I have here is that I'm bringing my melee unit into an environment where there's a lot of crossfire. Okay, so it turns out that the two rounds of sniper shots were exactly what the doctor ordered. This may not quite deliver the same punch as last time, just because there's going to be a moving target. So I figured I'd start with a shot on the tank. Move up. So it looks like the only thing that's really keeping me from making this sing is my heat. The best I can hope for right now is that the melee unit be effective in a later turn. Yeah. Nope, different heights. I'll put myself behind the rock just in case. Nice. All hostiles eliminated, site under control. 30-second duration, 161 damage taken, 3,837 damage inflicted, 68 actions planned, 1,389 meters traveled, 5 units destroyed, no parts on site, 207 supplies detected on site, all gray items, so nothing to write home about. Doesn't tell me to salvage, so let's see if we can get to the outpost without invasions happening. Manufacture smoke screen. Nope, we've already got 3. This will be an interesting test. If we get another assault squad, then we're just going to head north and, take them out. Another war memorial. I thought that last one was going to be the last one, but we made good time. So one of your pilots calls out for the mobile base to stop. If you're in the field you're passing, she spotted the burned out wreckage of a mech. It's got our flag, but it doesn't look like one of ours, boss, she says. It must be an old model. Grass has grown over parts of it, and it looks in a terrible state, but you'll need to get closer for a proper look. Doesn't look too far from here. Shall we go take a look? One of your pilots asks. Investigate, that could be interesting. You approach with caution, but the coast is clear. There are more abandoned mechs here than you could see from the road, and they seem to be getting more numerous the further away from the road you get. "Well, I know where we are," the pilot exclaims. "I've heard that there were some memorials from the old war out here, but I've never seen them. If we have time, I'd love to pay my respects," another says. As your mobile base trundles towards the memorial, you hear a commotion up front. It looks like some enemy troops have set up shop in the memorial, creating some kind of base there. "We can't let this stand," says one of your pilots. "This is meant to be a peaceful place, but we have to evict them. Right, boss?" As always, we suit up. And we didn't find any rare gear, so we won't bother. We haven't changed our mechs the whole stream. But again... Or no, that's not true. We actually got a really good arm. Rebel unit sighted, requesting immediate reinforcements. Let's make this quick. 2 enemy contacts, new enemies on wave 3. This actually is probably going to wind up being very similar to the last round. Okay. First order of business, if I can, is to get on some high ground. Medium handgun. Okay, it's a pair of medium handguns. Nothing... I mean, neither of these are particularly threatening right now. I'm assuming this is just going to go blasting into the side of the building, but I can live with it. I suppose the other thing I could do is try to... Yeah, we should... No, actually, sorry. This works exactly the way I want it to. And I don't think the melee... Oh no, hang on. The melee unit might get some love. Hopefully I don't get hit by friendly fire, but... So the real question now is, do I want to take this unit and move him in for a follow-up attack? It's hard to say no. Alright, what can the sniper accomplish? So I'm trying to find the thing that I just hit. Alright, so we don't actually know what actions it's going to take. It lost a shield, but it's... Well, it might surrender. I think I'll bite the bullet and... I'll talk about what a scumbag this guy is. Now, we'll... Yeah, I'm trying to think, like... So the problem that I got with this is that it's very likely that this guy is going to start firing on us again. But on the odd chance that... Yeah, on the odd chance that they do surrender because their health is so low... Oh, Jesus, what am I doing? No, you're not a scumbag at all. You're surrendering. Okay, here's what I'm going to do instead. Everybody in the squad is going to move to the objectives. So if this guy is close to surrendering, it's not that big of a stretch to think that the other one will as well. So we'll get ourselves into position. In this case, I'm going to set myself up at an appropriate distance. This is just outside of where I need to be. Okay, so given the fact that this is, unless I want to jump back to an, well, you know what, there's nothing stopping me from doing that, so gives me a little more wriggle room. Yeah, so basically we're going to be perfectly positioned. If this guy does want to continue the fight, we're going to be perfectly positioned for a crossfire on them. But hopefully they object. Or they object. Hopefully they eject. Yes, they do eject. Commander, the base is circled around the perimeter. We're ready to pick up the squad if needed. So again, nothing's changed. We don't know where the enemy comes next. Dropping in, command is getting impatient. Let's get this over and done with. So 2 new contacts on the field. Looks like they're in an inconvenient spot. So I'm going to try and make it so that my sniper can make the most of the occasion, but I figure it's worth the attempt at least. All right, now the good news is the Hermes moves crazy fast, so we should be able to get some shots. Oh, not as many as I thought. We got a big building in the way too. So what if I did one of these? So obviously public enemy number 1 is unit in range. Well, as close to in range as I can. And then this one, the dashes make sense because there's no way I'm going to be able to get any effective shotgun damage this turn. So this is really about closing the gap as much as possible. Yeah, so unsurprisingly, not just a little tickle. So this is a marksman and a sniper. Interesting. So the good news is that the short range approach is going to do quite well. This was a bit of a no-brainer, right? They wanted to target the melee unit, so we hide behind the concrete. They go around the corner, and we hit them with a sword. I'll position them for the second round. Now, this part gets a little complicated. You know what? I think I'm just going to I'm going to content myself with a movement here. And it looks like this unit wanted to aim a shield at the assault. So, in recognition, maybe leave that for after. So hopefully we don't hit our melee unit while doing that. I just tripped over. So I really need to be conscious of how these things are going to react to being hit. It might be because this person fell unconscious that my my melee unit tripped over. I will say though, like, again, I'm not in the perfect excuse me. I'm not in the perfect mental state to be able to make these kinds of judgments. It has occurred to me that barring a big bonus for melee in the new Arsenal patch, the only weapon that produces some kind of unintended effect, let's say. Well, okay, this isn't entirely true, but like, think of it this way. Your shotgun blast maybe is particularly effective at, like it takes down a tank which you thought wasn't going to be taken down, and what happens is one of the other tanks crashes into it and it causes a pileup. So the enemy units aren't where you thought they would be, and maybe your melee attack or your melee attack didn't hit, or your sniper, they wind up shooting the side of a mountain because the pileup happened. Happened far away from where the intended target was supposed to be. In the end, those sorts of things don't really hurt you. They're inconvenient, but they're not the sort of thing that, they're not the thing that will put a pilot at a major risk. Now, consider the contrast of the melee weapon. So the melee weapon's great because it can cause people to crash, particularly like the really high-powered one that I have. But what I've been seeing over the last few rounds, and again, this might just be because I'm incredibly tired and not thinking straight, but we've had more than a few crashes now. Like the Sleipnir's having a hard time keeping on its 2 feet. And the fact of the matter is that because it's a physical attack, the likelihood of one of the targets sort of bouncing around is much higher than in the case of something like a sniper rifle or an assault rifle. And so the melee approach has become a little less attractive to me overall by virtue of the fact that you add this level of uncertainty that, the timeline in the game is not going to calculate the effects of the actions that you take. So this is something that, this is why I think the developers are not particularly crazy about the comparison to Frozen Synapse. Frozen Synapse, if you can game through all the scenarios, and if you find, you find kind of the best reply, then, you're probably going to win the round. And the onus is kind of on you to get the, to do the analysis right. If you don't, if you engage in a little bit of wishful thinking, it's kind of like if you play chess and, when you've made a mistake, you just kind of hope that your opponent doesn't notice it, and then you're able to sort of exploit it. well, chances are if that's the way you plan on winning a chess match, you've already lost. Because at least my understanding is that most people who go to chess tournaments are really, really good. At least the one chess tournament I went to, I felt severely outclassed very early on. Good God, I've been rambling and I don't remember where I was going with it. I think I was just trying to, what I was trying to say is that basically having, I'm so sorry. I really should have gone to bed. Basically what I'm trying to say is it would be nice if I could figure out where, like, I think with the AI component, it makes sense that it will only tell you the actions the enemy is going to take. I wish I had a better read on what the consequences of my melee attacks would be, because they seem to be very effective and it's very cool to watch. And yet, I feel like I'm taking on a bit of a liability when I use those abilities, particularly this playthrough where I've been stumbling all over the spot. Anyways, I apologize. I'm really blowing it. Congratulations, you now have control of the site and may see hope rise in the region. 35-second battle, 500 damage taken, 4,572 inflicted, 57 actions planned, 1,307 meters traveled, 1 unit destroyed, no parts on site, 88 supplies. Let's just look at the inventory, all gray. Wait a minute. No scrap to... Oh, I guess there isn't. Yeah. So we'll start moving once we get the unit repair in. Alright. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry I didn't do a better broadcast for you guys. This might just be... This might just me be, being a little paranoid, but particularly the last probably hour and a half or so, like half of the broadcast, like I've been really aware of the fact that I've kind of been on autopilot, like I've not been very present, and I think a lot of the commentary really suffered for that, so thanks, Olaf. But with that in mind, I mean, there are... Let me leave it on some positive notes for Phantom Brigade. It does disappoint me a little bit. I mean, obviously it's nice to have familiar faces come into the channel, and I really don't like it when I have to get a little testy over, the back seating or the just the general, like, I know that people want to be helpful, but sometimes when I'm being told stuff that I already know, it's really off-putting. But I do need to admit, like, one thing, so it sucks that if there's a regular who feels like they can't be in the channel because of that, that doesn't make me feel great. Because the one thing I will say is I actually really look forward to doing Mondays with Phantom Brigade. It's a game I really like sharing with all of you, and so if I'm sounding very self-conscious or if I'm sounding a little uncertain about today's broadcast, it's mostly because even though I was super sleepy and even though today was a really rough day, I always like... being able to do Phantom Brigade every week is a real highlight for me. So I hope to be able to communicate that enthusiasm through the broadcast. And on days that I feel like I didn't do that, I'm obviously gonna be a little little nervous, but I do appreciate. I mean, I saw on my dashboard a few familiar names. I don't. So when I was starting out in broadcasting, I used to thank people whose names were inside of the chat. And I've learned not to do that because some people really do just like sitting kind of in the background. But I do recognize a few of you, and let me just say I really appreciate you sticking with me. And yeah, just a reminder, this month we are going to be seeing the Arsenal update. It's maybe not the worst thing in the world that we didn't get anything done on the, in Brostland, for the simple reason that if the patch drops between now and when we play it next, I believe the provinces that are not liberated get reset. So, it's kind of an all or nothing proposition. I definitely really intrigued by the fact that I was forced to go across the map to be able to protect my bases. Hey, thank you, C. McLaugh. That means a lot on a broadcast where I sort of feel like I didn't do my best. Tried to do my best, but I don't think I delivered my best. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really looking forward to the Arsenal update, or the Arsenal updates, as the case may be. I think I'm definitely due for some new melee. I think I think probably the majority of my complaints over the last couple of streams have been melee related, either on the basis of the different heights or tripping over stuff today. But the tripping over stuff today might just be I'm not gonna give any feedback on the basis of stuff that I ran into today, just because I was trying to keep it together. All right, let me just take a minute here. I'd love it if you guys would hang out and pass the love along to whoever is broadcasting. So I got a few good streamers. I was hosting No Virtue before I went... Oh, you know what? I thought Night Valian might be doing Yakuza, but it doesn't look like he's online. So I don't always get a chance to host No Virtue live. I usually give her the auto host. So No Virtue is currently doing Stellaris. She is one of the people who was invited to do the kind of the streamer group. She's very good at the game. Usually tends to play on sort of the hardest difficulties, and I don't know, just generally impresses everyone. Oh, weird. So it says is nobody joining the raid for No Virtue? If there's nobody in it, I'll just do a standard host. That's weird. I've never seen 0 viewers ready to raid someone. You're in? Does it say how many are in for you, Olaf? Okay, tell you what, we don't need to raid. I will just hit the host button for No Virtue. It looks like there's nobody playing Phantom Brigade, so I've scared everyone off. We'll just do a standard host. I hope you guys enjoy No Virtue. If you've ever wondered about Stellaris, I believe she is doing a sort of a how do I put it? Like a Ask Me Anything sort of a stream. Definitely is a lot better at sort of getting through the game a lot faster than I do. So I feel pretty safe doing this recommendation. Well, actually, tell you what, let's try the raid button one more time. If it still says 0, huh? Yeah. All right. Well, we'll just do a standard host then. Just a reminder in terms of my overall Well, thank you, you very high quality AI for joining me for Phantom Brigade. I'll be back with this game next week. Tomorrow, for those of you that enjoy the pre-recorded Elder Scrolls episodes, a new one of those will be coming online 7 o'clock for the vodcast on Twitch. I will be present in chat, although I might be doing a little bit of work on the other screen. If you want to watch the high-definition version of it or see the playlist that is on YouTube. Wednesday, just a reminder, I believe that is when that's going to be the next local game dev meetup, so I will very likely not be broadcasting. I might try and do something on Thursday, but please don't hold me to it, because if I'm still struggling with sleep, I'm really going to need the Thursday to try and make it up. And then Friday, I'm pretty sure we'll do Hollow Knight. So I want to try and get Everspace and Industries of Titan in, but this is going to be a really tough week, I think, to try and get everything I want in. Anyways. Enjoy No Virtue. Thank you very much for watching. I will do better next time, and have a great night.